Hello, 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 hello. Happy Tuesday. Tuesday. Joshua, guess what? Guess what I'm doing this weekend?
What?
It's very important. It's critical to the operation.
Critical.
I am getting on an airplane. Don't tell my Orange Theory. I'm getting on an airplane and I'm going to Baltimore, where I will be speaking at the Walkaway rally in Baltimore on Saturday with Mike Carlo. Mike Carlo's coming too, who we love. And I'm very excited about this. I'm not on the flyer for it because Brandon forgot to put me on the flyer. He's deeply apologetic, and he's going to come on this show to make penance, do his rosaries for forgetting to put me on the flyer, which you know more about than I do. A scarlet letter. But I am going to be there, and I am very excited about it. So if you are in the Baltimore area, come out to the rally. It's going to be at the War Memorial at 3 p.m. on Saturday. On Saturday. If I said Sunday, I was wrong. It's Saturday. I'm going on Saturday. I apparently have no idea, Joshua, how days of the week work. I
know it's tough. This
is why I keep you around. You're supposed to keep me in line and let me know what day it is at all times.
I try. I do my best.
You do. I also have to give kudos to you because yes, you got a psychic prediction that you made the other day correct.
What did I predict?
So we were in, and I swear, guys, I am not making this up at all. We were in our coaching call, as you remember, on Sunday, and you said to me, Curlin, you're going to get a speaking offer this week. And I said, Joshua, where am I going to speak? There are no events. Like, what are you talking about? You're making stuff up. And the very next day, I got an offer to speak at the Better Discourse Conference in Milwaukee next month. So, guys, Joshua does have psychic skill. He may have gotten the AOC thing wrong. We have to put aside our doubt about that. But he does actually, on occasion, have psychic skill. And I will be at the Better Discourse Conference in Milwaukee next month, also with Mike Harlow as well. So that's fun.
You two together, that must be real big trouble, I bet.
I've never hung out with Mike Harlow. I'm very excited. I've never met him in person. I met Brandon in person.
I'm pretty sure. That's my next prediction. You guys will probably get arrested.
No, we're not going to get arrested. We're not going to get arrested. I feel like, okay, I hope Mikey's not watching, but I feel like I'm way more of a troublemaker than he is. I feel like Mikey talks a big game, but I actually follow through on shit.
Ooh, fighting.
What do you think? You've seen both our charts. What do you think?
I forget Mikey's a little bit. I know that Mikey.
He's a Taurus.
Yes, and he has a very, very strong voice, and I think that he's a force to be reckoned with. That's for sure. That's what I remember from this chart. So, but so are you. So there we go.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I'm very excited.
Double
trouble. I'm very excited to see him and hang out with him in person. Joshua, we already have a super chat.
Oh, wow.
And this is a good perfect way to kick off the show. All right, guys, if you are new to Nothing Remotely Controversial, this is a show that we do every Tuesday night, not Thursday, Tuesday, with Joshua and I, where I banter about the news and whatever I find interesting. And Joshua, who is a professional psychic of the stars, of the celebrities, uses his psychic gifts to help us peer beneath the surface and and figure out what's actually going on with the news. And I get questions all the time about, Carlin, are you serious about this astrology nonsense and those tarot cards that are a tool of the devil? Yes, we're serious. Yes.
Yeah, I had lunch with Satan this afternoon. He's a great date. He's really a great
Satan
date.
Would be really fun. It's like the show Lucifer, isn't it?
Better?
Wow.
Better.
We'll have to talk about that offline. But we do have a super chat to kick us off. Thank you, Cold Summer 91. Cold Summer wants to know, can you do a reading on the weird stuff that has been happening with Ellen DeGeneres? And I don't know too much about this, but I heard something about people saying that her show was like a toxic working environment. So maybe that's what this is about.
Okay. Let's see. Can you pull up the question again or phrase the question?
Perhaps should we see what is going on with Ellen's show? right?
Continuing with the weird stuff that has been happening with Ellen DeGeneres. So there's okay. So let's just. She has a reputation. Let's just put it out there. She knows this. It's not like, she has a reputation for being a monster to work with. Whether that's true or not,
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's like a horrible person to work with. So some say. So are we talking about recent stuff, or are we talking just about the whole?
I'm pretty sure this has to do with, there was an article that came out that basically says it's like a really toxic environment to work on her show.
Oh yeah, you
don't even need to psychic that, you already know.
I've heard it from multiple sources that are from, but again, who knows? People might be telling tales. But are we going to look at whether or not she fosters a toxic work environment, or is there something going on recently? Because I believe there was something since the COVID stuff in which there was something about pay for employees, something along those lines. Like she left them high and dry, which was no surprise to a lot of the people. Which I don't know if that's true or not. Let me caveat that. I don't know. This is all hearsay. So, what's our question? What's going on currently?
I don't know. Cold Summer, if you can provide clarification in the chat, please provide it, because Joshua seems very confused.
Yeah. There might be weird stuff lately. I believe that there was something. She's always had this like thing of like people saying like how she's really just a horrible person to work for. Which again, there's the balance there. She is obviously has to put her best face forward every single day. She's a human being. She's not going to be always the perfect person. And like, as you know, you can do like 8 things right and 2 things wrong, and that's when they jump on you. So who's to say? But I believe that when the COVID stuff happened, that whole thing about her rep got drudged up.
Okay. Well, how would you like to phrase the question, Joshua? What would be best for you?
What would be interesting for the world to know about the Ellen Show?
Yes. Well done.
Thanks. And so I'm going to stop shuffling.
Stop.
Virtue, wheel, futility. Yeah, I think that she's trying to, I think that she or management or whatever is trying to get away with things right now. That's my feeling. So like say, for entertainment purposes only.
For entertainment purposes only, YouTube.
I don't need Ellen coming after me. She's an Aquarius. They'll kill you. So yeah, my feeling is that she's trying to find some like loophole, and it probably has to do with, just keeping herself in an advantageous position. That's the big thing. So yeah, there's the futility card there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think she's trying to appease people right now. But it's terrible to talk bad about Ellen. Like I talked to my mom.
It's so disappointing to hear, because I can't like her anymore if she has a toxic work environment. Like this is like
I know. I was talking to my mom, and she's like, "Oh, I'm watching the Ellen." I'm like, "Ugh, Ellen," because I've heard so much about her. It's hard to not. She's like, "You're the only person in the world who doesn't like."
You offended your mother.
Upset my mom. She's like, "I can't with you right now. How do you not like Ellen?" And I mean. Yeah, it is sad. But again, it's the balance. What can you do,
man.
She does a lot of things for a lot of people. She's given more to charity than you and I have.
Well, that's true, I guess. But I'm gonna have to come to grips with this, Joshua, okay? Lucky Lass has an Epstein-related one, which are always your favorite to do, I know. Will there be more Epstein case-related murder-suicides? Cough, cough. I suspect the New Jersey judge and her family were targeted related to this. Ooh. So you said, I think it was either last week or the week before, that you thought Ghislaine was going to be fine and she was going to make it through without any funny business.
Yes.
So maybe if we want to do, will there be any additional shenanigans?
Murder, suicide.
For entertainment purposes only.
For entertainment purposes Oh no. Will there be any Epstein case related murders, suicides? Cough, cough. And I'm going to stop shuffling.
Stop.
Knight of Pentacles, Sorrow, Queen of Wands. Interesting. Ooh. So, I think with the Knight of Discs, this is a very earthy person, really, really grounded, protecting his rep, his finances. So I do think that there's going to be a little bit of sorrow there, in the sense that I don't know if there's going to necessarily be murders or suicides, but I do think there's going to be more dirt coming out. And a Queen of Wands gal is around the whole situation. Now, what's her name?
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine. She is a Capricorn, clearly. But there's a Queen of Wands type broad, and Queen of Wands is, she's more like you, she's more confident, more sexy, open, fun, vivacious. Do you know what I mean? So I think that that's going to be who comes to the surface next. So yeah, there's definitely going to be more stuff. And I think that there's somebody who's really like earthy, ground, a standing member of the community. And I think that some dirt's going to come out, and it's going to be really heartbreaking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's almost like, not him.
No.
I mean, all the stuff with Me Too came out. I think all of us collectively were like, stay away from Tom Hanks. If Tom Hanks is in
you know
this,
what? Tom Hanks would go fuck himself after his coronavirus. Like, all you have to do is wear a mask. I don't respect anyone who doesn't wear a mask. Like, Tom Hanks has lost my respect. I don't like him anymore.
I've never liked Tom Hanks, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the thing, because all idols have play feet, as they say, right? Mm-hmm. So I do think there's going to be some information, but it's with an earthy guy, so that's really interesting. Andrew is he's an Aries or a Pisces. I think it's like March 20th. Prince Andrew, Randy Andy. So
Andy.
Yeah. So some earthy guy. Clinton is Leo, obviously, so that's not him. We'll have to see.
Maybe that'll be something we psychic next time. And if you guys have any questions about any earthy gentleman, maybe you can put a few guesses out there and let us know. I was particularly devastated with Kevin Spacey in the Me Too stuff, I have to say, because I loved Kevin Spacey. I still do like Kevin Spacey, honestly. Like, I don't really care. I like Kevin Spacey, okay?
Well, that's the whole thing, because didn't the guy who prosecuted him wind up getting killed or died or something?
Yeah, it was like all sorts of weird nonsense going on.
I mean, it's interesting that wasn't completely investigated, no?
I agree, but okay, we're moving on. Nate said, "Hi all, my boss asked me to stay at work late tonight, and I said, are you crazy? I have to get home to watch Carmen and Josh." Correct answer, Nate.
Exactly, Nate. You tell them. You say,
exactly.
And you give them my phone number if they give you any gruff.
Thank you.
You're gonna get the horns.
Exactly. Thank you, Grandma and Sarah. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Sarah.
Elizabeth, who I owe an email to Elizabeth. I'm sorry. Elizabeth has designed us these beautiful tarot cards of ourselves, and they're pretty great, and we really love them.
We love them.
Is the coin shortage about full digital currency? I have no idea what this means. We have no idea what Elizabeth. You got to provide us some more context in the chat, darling, because we have no idea.
I don't know. It could be me. I could be extra dull tonight.
I have no idea what that means either. But it's been like a long day. Okay, so this is a personal one. But I'm gonna make an executive decision, and we're gonna do it, Joshua, because this is Grandma and Sarah's second super chat. So okay. we're gonna do a personal question. But just so you know, as a general rule, we try not to do personal questions, because then we're gonna be answering stuff like, should I move to Chicago and stuff like that for the whole thing. And Joshua is always available for psychic readings as a one-on-one, so you can ask many more private questions than this. But let's just do it. We're gonna do it for Grandma.
Name? First name of the child.
Okay, Grandma and Sarah, first name of the child, please provide clarification in the chat. And let me see. Oh my goodness. I see Grandma and Sarah posting, so I'm just gonna wait a second. I know there's a delay. And I do see the other super chats as well. Matt says, I'm in Hollywood. How do I get canceled so I can be more popular? And how do we make that a norm?
You don't have to try too hard, Matt.
No, I think you can tell someone. Okay, her child is Sarah. So let's go back up and find her.
So we want to know what the school year is going to be like for her.
Can you give me a bit of direction for the coming school year for my child?
Oh, like where to send her or what to do.
Yeah.
Direction. For Sarah and Grandma's highest good for the school year. And someone stop shuffling, Carlin?
Stop.
Okay. So, for your highest good, interesting. Okay. So, 8 of cups, definitely go to school. That's definite. Excuse me, 8 of discs. This is about being prudent. Okay. So, just doing the right thing, being really Virgo about it. So making sure that, you're not, you're just doing the right thing, definitely going to school. With the 7 of Swords, though, and the 7 of Cups, my feeling is that you want to have some extra plans in mind because things right now are very much up in the air. And I think that the direction that you might be going in terms of where she's going to school, I think that things for that are a little bit iffy right now. So the big advice right now with the 7 of Cups is to keep your options open, like come up with a plan, but have some stuff in your back pocket for Sarah, because I don't think that things right now are as clear. So people are not being transparent with what's going to be happening in the school year. And also, I think that if you've been zoning in on one particular school, my feeling is that you want to look at others because there's something a little shifty.
Something shifty going on.
Shenanigans. Yeah. So keep your options open.
All right, big, okay. So China is wild. RN concentration camps, largest agricultural purchase in human history. Corn from the U.S. Three Gorges Dam is 11 meters from breaching. Joshua, will the Chinese Communist Party fail? / will China have democracy? So maybe we just say, will the Chinese Communist Party fail?
Yeah, let's look at the fate of the China Communist Party, right?
The fate of the Chinese Communist Party. Okay.
Yes. And so I'm going to stop shuffling.
Stop.
Okay. What is the fate of the Chinese Communist Party? Pleasure, wheel. I wouldn't say fail. I would say there's going to be something that goes back to the past with the pleasure card. And I think that a cycle is going to repeat itself with it. And with 7 of Cups, I think that things are going to be up in the air. I don't see failure. I just get things being like a lot of loose ends and they're not being like this ending point or this decision as to what is next for them. So a lot of things are going to be up in the air. I think a lot of it is going to have to be determined by the election, oddly enough. So things are sort of like, I don't know. It's almost like, let's do something Saturday, but we have no idea. We can go to the fair, we can go swimming, we can go gym. You know what I mean? It's like, everything's everywhere right now. Mm-hmm. But there's something about the past. So it's going to be like, I think, hearkening to what had happened before. Like a cycle will repeat itself.
It's kind of like a psychic cop-out answer, isn't it?
I mean, I really, really wish I could be more detailed. Pleasure, past, wheel of fortune, a cycle, things speeding up, and then the debauch card, which is really about things up in the air. I will say that if they have some kind of like temptation, that will be in front of them, and they may be tempted to go into the dark side.
Well, I've been saying that China is going to red dawn our asses for about a week and a half now. Ever since the great Twitter hack of last week, which was fantastic. And Joshua, did you take part? Did you see what was going on in that at all? Did you hear about that? So it was basically like a 3-hour period on Twitter in which the blue check marks were not allowed to post. They were completely locked out of their accounts because the story is that these 3 hacker kids hacked the primary main accounts of of Joe Biden, of Barack Obama, of Elon Musk. And so they had to lock down all the blue checkmark accounts and no one could post from them for like 3 hours. So it was just like the hooligans running around on Twitter. It was great.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating, huh?
It was fantastic. And then, and so like it was actually pretty fabulous. People were making all these jokes about like the French Revolution and the proletariat rising up. And as soon as the blue check marks came back, Jack Posobiec tweeted a picture of himself with his head on like Napoleon Bonaparte's uniform and a blue check mark right in the center of saying, "We have risen." It was like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Elizabeth has provided clarification. Thank you, Elizabeth. Is the coin shortage a front to move digital currency and remove physical money from circulation? I don't know, Joshua. How do you want to psychic that?
I think that's good.
Okay.
Let's look at it as is Elizabeth right? Let's just suppose that she believes this.
Okay.
Coin shortage a front to move digital currency. And I'm going to stop shuffling. Is it a front?
Stop.
Is it a front? Two of Swords, Emperor. I wouldn't say it's a front. I don't see any deception going on here. But I do think that I do think that there's like an impasse with Two of Swords. So some people want one thing and another group of people want another. With the Emperor and Knight of Discs, it's all very much about power and keeping stability, but I wouldn't say that it's a front. There's no cards that indicate deception.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Love my pets. Thank you for the super chat. Amber Raven, I got your super chat. I'm going to wait on it though, because that's kind of, you've asked a big question and we're going to pause on it because I want to talk about something a little lighter before we get to that particular question. But I'm going to take a screenshot of it just in case it flies off my screen. Is
it a sad question?
It's not a sad question. It's an intense question. I just want to give you a little break for a second. So Joshua, have you been following what's going on in Portland at all?
I just know there's some naked lady doing dance moves.
Yes. Well, no, it's not dance moves. It's not dance moves. Oh, God damn it. I might have to change a setting in my thing to be able to do this.
Yoga moves? I think that she was doing something naked.
It wasn't. So it was a protester.
You know, in Portland, you can do that. You can walk around naked in the name of protest and like not get arrested.
Okay, we're gonna do some
field trip.
I'm using a new browser and I have to change the permissions. So we're gonna do something else real quick. We're gonna talk about Kanye West. We're going to talk about Kanye West because, so funny story. I get hate mail from this random crazy person every single day. And it's like horrible hate mail. They write like these long paragraphs telling me all the things that are wrong with me. Of course, which we know there are plenty. And so I got one today that I just thought was like the most perfect way to introduce this Kanye segment. And it's the very last paragraph in the hate mail. And it says, "It seems odd that a psychologist would promote herself with a tweet plugging an appearance with her psychic in which they discuss Kanye West's recent behavior. It seems obvious to most people that Kanye is having mental health problems. I think most psychologists would just stay away from discussing Kanye, let alone using him in a conversation with their psychic," in quotes, Joshua. In a public forum.
If you're watching, I think that you need to get a hobby. I think that you do. I think that you get a hobby and stop like wishing that you were her. It's not a good look. It's not a good look.
No, it's not. I gotta finish the paragraph though. Then we're gonna keep going because I'm having way too much fun. Let's see. Let alone use him in a conversation with their psychic in a public forum, unless they were aiming for some drafting type self-promotion by using Kanye as a topic.
Welcome to America, lady. That's the name of the game.
This kind of unethical behavior seems typical of you.
Nice.
And your need to promote yourself. I have to wonder if your liberal friends who dropped you didn't drop you because you changed your viewpoints, but instead dropped you because they recognize that you lack ethics and operate in a self-absorbed and irresponsible manner in this new role you've chosen to take on.
Oh my God. I want as much time as this lady has in her hands. I'm sorry. I'm jealous. To be able to like craft an email like that on a regular basis.
She wrote me twice today. Twice, Joshua.
Luxury.
Twice.
What a luxury. Seriously. That's great. She must be
I
doing
swear.
well.
These people,
Time to do that.
do you think, just a side note, psychically, do you think that this woman like knows me in real life, or is this like a rando?
It feels more distant.
Okay.
But somebody who also is like hypersensitive to like the airwaves. There are some people that they're super sensitive to what they actually see as if it's like right there. Like I did a reading for somebody and I'd be like, oh, and who's this like doctor? And I found out afterwards that it was characters on the soap opera that she watches a lot. Because she's like so into it that, is he a doctor here? Do you work in a hospital?
Wow. So what I wanted to look at, and okay, I'm gonna throw this insane person that writes me these emails a bone and say that I actually agree that we shouldn't be talking shit about Kanye. I think that Kanye is very clearly having a manic episode, and I think it's sad, and I don't think we should make fun of him. But what I want to do is have you take a look at his chart and discuss what astrology is going on in his chart that might have made him a little crazier than usual on Twitter last night.
I think that's a good idea. Okay. So, I'm going to share because sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
Share screen. All right. Yeah. Where is it? Oh, application window. Okay. All right, so let's go. When was this alleged incident, or when was the incident?
This was yesterday.
Yeah. Okay, on the 20th, right?
Yes.
Do you know around what time?
I was laying in bed. I want to say it was around 9-10 o'clock.
Okay, so anyway, we had yesterday a new moon. Do you see what I see?
I do not, but hang on. That's my add to stream. There it is. Okay.
Okay, so when we have a new moon over here, if you can see my cursor, you have the sun and the moon in the same sign of Cancer. Now with this new moon, what was opposing the sun and the moon in Cancer but Saturn at 28 degrees? So you have 28 degrees here, you have 28 degrees here. Now Kanye is a Cancerian Rising, which essentially Cancers are extremely well, they're very caring and nurturing and loving people, but they have a tendency toward wild mood swings. So when there is a moon in Cancer, because he's ruled by the moon, he's extra sensitive, particularly with this moon opposite Saturn. Think of it in terms of this. So Cancer is like mom, right? Nurturing, caring, loving. And Saturn is like dad. He like says, stop, don't do that. Mother's like unconditional, you're wonderful, you can do no wrong, you're precious to me. And Saturn's like, no, and it restricts you. So Saturn was opposing the sun and the moon. So what this means is that Kanye felt rather oppressed and restricted and told no. It's sort of like a dad thing. Like with Saturn represents the father, and Cancer represents the mother. And I feel with him as a Cancerian rising that he takes that role as mother, and other people may say, again, Kim's a Libra. She's going to be rather not dictatorial, but if, Libras balance everybody but themselves, essentially. So Libras have a tendency, if you're getting out of turn or out of line, they will balance you. They'll say, sit yourself down, you're acting like a crazy person, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Chris, who we know pulls the strings that whole house, she most likely did something, or all of a sudden Kanye probably felt that Saturnian pressure. So he was acting out. It was the Cancerian energy. Again, he's going to get really, really emotional because he's feeling this sense of restriction. So I think it's typical for a Cancer rising to have a flip out under a new Cancer moon when there's an opposition with Saturn.
Well, so, he seems to have rebounded now. He's deleted a bunch of stuff. He's reined it in.
Yeah, of course he has, because of course he has, because I mean, it's only logical, and again, he probably just came to his senses. There's going to be, when we have the moon, when we have a strong Cancerian nature, as he does, he's going to have these wild mood swings, but at a certain point, he's going to come to his senses, especially if there's money involved. I mean, let's face it, and I believe that Kim, gave him quite the call down.
Oh, I bet she did. I heard that she was pissed.
To go against, sorry?
I heard she was pissed.
Yes, and it's very, very rare for a Libra to not stand by her man, a la Tammy Wynette. Very weird for a Libra not to. Typically, they will. But again, he went against both of them, I think. And he also...
Oh, yeah, he did.
So, anyway, I think it must be tough, though, to live under that house if, there is all of that pressure,
Mm-hmm.
So... Anyway, I'm glad it's all resolved now.
Yeah, I am too. And I kind of, what I like about this is it proves that astrology can explain more than people think it can, doubters.
It's a science, and all sciences are arts. But seriously, if I knew I was going to actually be an astrologer, I would have paid so much more attention in math class and geometry, especially, because it's very, very mathematical and very, very scientific, and angles and all that. So, yes,
very in depth.
Indeed.
Joshua, I apparently cannot share my screen unless I shut down my browser. And if I do that, our whole stream will stop. So we're not going to do that. But what I did do was I emailed you the picture, so you can share yours of the lady.
Oh,
on your can you pull it up on your computer, so you can share your screen?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I can do that. Let me try.
And then we will have that. We'll have that ready to go. But in the meantime, we can do another psychic question from Super Chat. Ember Raven, and I think that this was almost inevitable that this was going to get asked tonight for entertainment purposes only. YouTube. I'll just come out and ask it. Is Wayfairgate true? I've seen a lot of disturbing stuff. Something is definitely going on. Do you know what's happening with Wayfairgate?
No idea.
So essentially, okay, again, this is one of those areas that I haven't paid probably as much attention to this as I should have, but there is a conspiracy theory going around saying that Wayfair was being used to traffic children.
What is Wayfair?
Wayfair's like that furniture selling site, but there were very weird posts on the site for like thousands and thousands of dollars with like, I think they had like names or something. Guys in the chat, correct me, but like there was definitely like weird stuff on their site.
Oh, this is the Wayfair, the furniture place where they sell all those home furnishings?
Yes. Is there scandalous shenanigans going on with Wayfair?
Ooh, that's scary.
Wait. Tammy says your daily stalker is most likely Robin DiAngelo. Curses Robin DiAngelo.
Okay. All right. Wayfair.
Wayfair.
Okay. Is there some shenanigans going on there?
Is there shenanigans going on with Wayfair?
In what regard? What are we talking about again?
Child trafficking.
Ooh, shoot. That's bad.
It is. Congratulations, Joshua. Yes.
I wasn't paying attention. I can't do two things at the same time. I was pulling up that naked chick in Portland. Okay, so child trafficking?
Yes.
Ooh. I'm going to stop shuffling.
Stop. I don't like this feeling. I don't like this.
Well, no wonder this stuff is so cheap.
Oh my god.
Debauch, Two of Wands, Works. I wouldn't say it's child trafficking.
Nope. No conspiracy.
No, I don't.
Oh, we're doing a clarification. Are you done?
not? Just like a little quick. I mean, there's something that's a little weird going on, but I don't think it's child trafficking or anything that's that dubious. Let's see. Okay, Wayfair. I think there's stuff going on, but I don't think it's child trafficking. I think that's a little extreme.
All right. Well, there you go, guys. No psychic predicted, no child trafficking at Wayfair. Nate Early sent another super chat, but unfortunately it's flown off my screen, but I did have the temerity to take a screenshot of it before it did. And Nate, what's that?
You talking about the broad in Portland?
No, we'll do her next. Well, we'll talk about her next. We won't do her, obviously.
It's very easy to if you're sitting in that
position. So Nate Early wants to know, do state governors who have issued mask mandates truly believe that masks keep people safe? Can we zone in on one state governor in terms of, let's say, Gavin Newsom?
Don't even mention his name. It makes me mad. He's the only one I hate right now. He's the only person in the world, which is a big deal for me, that I hate right now.
Do you want to do another?
I still don't have my gym. It's terrible.
Do you want to just get a rant out of your system, Joshua? Do what people like when you rant. Talk to us about Gavin Newsom. Why do you hate Gavin Newsom?
He's a jerk.
Do you want to pick a different governor that has mandated masks, or do you want to stick with yours?
I think he really believes his own bullshit. Sure. But we can do, I don't know. Let's pick another one. I don't want to even talk about him. He makes me mad.
Let's pick Gretchen Whitmer.
Okay. So does she really believe that masks help people?
Yes.
Someone stop shuffling.
Stop.
I don't hate Newsom. That's a really strong word.
I'm just very upset.
Well, okay. I want my gym back, Newsom.
It's okay to hate him. It's all right.
No, I don't hate anyone. Hate's a very strong word. I think that Gretchen is in between. I think that she has, there's the Two of Swords. So she's like back and forth. I think with the Three of Discs, it's sort of like, you know what I mean? Like if you're in a room full of people and they all want pizza and you want Chinese food, well, the chances are you're going to be sort of like, all right, let's go get pizza. Do you know what I mean? You got to go along to get along. With Ten of Cups, same thing. I think that there's just an overwhelming emotional focus on this. But with Two of Swords, I think that she's looking at the science and she's like, yeah, because isn't there like something like from, I don't know, somebody who's like a medical specialist who wound up saying that like masks don't do shit. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that yeah.
She's following the path of least resistance.
Yeah, which is really,
like.
I mean, who could blame her?
I guess so. All right, Joshua, you want to do the naked lady?
Naked lady.
Naked
we
lady.
Don't have her bits in this picture, though.
No, I edited out any salacious bits that YouTube could ding me for. She got a star on her ass and everything.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can do this.
Okay, so for those of you who may not know what we're talking about, so in the protests in Portland, which have been especially heinous and awful, but there was one moment that I just took great amusement in, and it was a completely naked woman walking down the street in the middle of the protest, and then taking a gorgeous photo that Joshua is going to share with us. That yes. I want to discuss the symbology of this photo. And first, the first question I have is like, what exactly was this person protesting? Like what were they trying to achieve with being naked in the middle of a protest? I don't understand it. Like, what point were they trying to make? What were their demands? What do they want people to do?
I know, right?
Oh, I see the share coming up. Yes. Okay, so here is the naked lady. And what I want, and so she didn't just stand and like walk around and like strut around naked in the middle of a protest wearing a mask. She also sat down in the middle of the street like this. And I was like, there's some symbology in this picture. And I just can't even, I can't even. Like, what, Joshua? You are much better at interpreting shit than I am. What is being said with this photo?
I mean, I think that what she's going for is a certain like sense of like art and vulnerability. I also think that it's a political statement. Didn't Lady Godiva like get all naked and stuff for her protests? So
I
this
have
is
no
sort
idea.
of like, yeah, this is like a historical thing that a lot of people have done in Portland. As we mentioned, you actually have a free pass. You don't get, fined or arrested for indecent exposure. Indecent exposure? Yeah, indecent
You
exposure.
don't?
No, not in Portland, and not if it's for political reasons, which is what she's doing. But there's a long history of actually being naked for political reasons, and I think that she was doing that. I think symbolically, I mean, look at her legs, right? This is one. She was there 15 minutes from what I gathered. This is one pose. In this particular pose, I would say that there's obviously openness and themes of vulnerability and themes of, I think extreme vulnerability.
Here's my question though. Like she's facing the police officers at a protest. Why would she want to express extreme vulnerability against the police that they are protesting?
To protect the black people, really, is my guess. I mean,
so her pussy is the black people.
No. She's using her white privilege to be sort of like, fuck me, quite frankly, don't fuck with them, is my guess. I mean, I think symbolically, she's putting herself as a sacrificial lamb, like, like her openness, her vulnerability. It would probably a matter of her using her own white privilege or white guilt, what have you, to
she's offering herself as a sacrifice, I believe, on the gods of law enforcement.
That's what I felt energetically. I mean, also, I'm sure she's an attention whore, quite frankly, obviously. Yeah, but obviously. Yeah, I think that even if she's an attention whore, that probably is what, and an exhibitionist, that's probably what she was going for politically, is like, take me. Don't mess with them. Take me. Because if you do think about it, that violence and sex, there is a parallel there in some respects, right? Like there's it's a similar energy, right? In a lot of respects, like when we're talking about toxic masculinity, in terms of rape, in terms of beating, like the energy is pretty much there's parallels. So yeah, I think she was opening herself up to be that sacrificial lamb, as you say.
All right. Well, I actually kind of like your interpretation of it, to be honest. It's much more generous than I probably would have been, but I kind of actually like, I mean, in like a weird perverse way, that's actually like, I don't agree with her particular statement, but in a weird perverse way, if she's looking at the world through her SJW eyes, I can definitely see why she would, sacrifice herself for, the lives of black people.
Yeah, and also, let's face it, it's an excuse to get naked. There are people that get off on being naked. They're exhibitionistic, and that's completely fine. And this is a perfect excuse. There's a lot of reasons why, but the SJW that I mean, none of them would do something like this, right? So there's a reason behind it, even if it's politically motivated. Please, no, they wouldn't. The ones that no, not the ones that I know. Very few of them would. But again, it's like, it's a political maneuver, and it's also an opportunity. Hey, I get to take my clothes off. Hey, I mean, I think that's great. To be able to go to Portland in the name of politics, be like, streak, I think that's hysterical. I think that's awesome. We should do a field trip.
No, you can get naked and run down the street in Portland. I will not be getting naked and running down the street in Portland.
Yeah. Anyway.
Jacob Hill sent us in a super chat. Jacob, I'm sorry I can't pull it up, but it's like, it's StreamYard. It flew right off the screen. Sometimes I just can't access them, but I did take a screenshot. And Jacob says, "Sup from Melbourne, Joshua. We've gone international."
International. I'm really big in
Got big sad because lockdown and I can't even see shrinks in person. Any general advice? And he says, Josh got me interested in tarot, by the way. Thanks.
Wow.
Yay.
You're going to have a lot of fun with it because it's not only good for divination, but it's also good about creating your reality and creating a new persona. So you'll love it. Have you tried teletherapy?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good question. Teletherapy can be an option.
Yeah.
So Jacob, maybe if you've tried that, you can chat in.
But did he have any other questions, like generally?
No, it was just like, you know, it seems as like he's just having a hard time and looking for like, and he said he can't even see shrinks in person and like looking for general advice. And I think this is actually a good general question as well. Like for people who are having a hard time with the COVID lockdowns, what general advice can we give them, Joshua?
Be more creative. Look, I understand that it's a complete bitch to be stuck inside and not be able to go to restaurants or go dancing, go to the gym or go to the beach if you're locked down for that and having to wear your mask. I get it. However, we can be really, really creative. There's so much stuff that's going on online right now, and there is stuff that can be done, I think, safely. But let's face it, most of the stuff is online. I'm taking a class on Sunday. There's plenty of classes that you could actually take. I believe there are like live streams that you can join. There's a lot of opportunities, and I know it's not the same, but right now it's a matter of we got to think outside the box. And if you really want to go out and express yourself in some capacity, I think you can do that online and get that release that you might need. So just be more creative. Think outside the box.
Well, I want to add on to
Corona. Don't scapegoat it, because I understand like we're on lockdown, but don't scapegoat it. Like if you can have fun. If you want to have fun, you can have fun.
I want to add on to that too, because I mean, you said that he can use the tarot to kind of like vision what he wants out of his experience. So this actually could be a good activity he could do with tarot, which is one of the things that I learned on my Peru retreat with a shaman that I worked in Peru, not the one that you hate, a different shaman. So Joshua doesn't hate anyone except my former shaman. But I worked with another shaman who told us essentially that when she's in her spiritual practice, what she does is she goes to a place where she is completely by herself. She's completely isolates herself and she meditates and she doesn't speak and she does her inner spiritual work. Now, I'm not suggesting you out of a cabin in the middle of the woods, but time at home alone, it can be a great time to learn how to meditate, take up meditation. And meditation is something that can help you with depression. It can help you with anxiety. It can help you with visioning. Meditation is like the magic bullet for solving so many problems that so many people have. And what better time to learn how to meditate and practice meditation than right now?
Absolutely. And I'll add to that, like they're pictures on paper, but Jung, the psychologist, used these because they're actually archetypes in the collective consciousness. So you can allow yourself to really tap into the energy here, even meditating with them. Like say you're like, oh, I just want to be happy. And all I keep doing is like seeing doom and gloom. Well, meditate on the sun card and you'll be happier. Yay!
So Jacob, we hope that helps. Elizabeth kind of has another kind of corresponding question to it. Will COVID hysteria calm down within a few months? Personally, it's so bad. I'm getting screamed at by my family for questioning anything. Elizabeth, you are not like the COVID Karens are out in full force. But I think so. This is really a question about the hysteria around COVID. Are people going to calm the F down, Joshua?
Let's see. Hysteria regarding COVID. And tell me when to stop shuffling.
Stop.
Okay, people are going to come down. Judgment, power, the lovers. I think so. I think people are going to be holding on to their convictions, though, in the sense that I do think that this new normal, as they say, there will be people that ground themselves to that, like, maintaining that distance, wearing masks and whatnot. So I do think that there'll be judgment calls. Like there'll be some people that are just hold on to their values. And that means really we've got to start living sometime, boys and girls. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a life out there. But I do think that there will be people that stick to their guns and are just, people are going to be, This is an excuse. It's an excuse to, not all of it. I understand that there's issues, and I understand you don't want grandma to die. I get it. You don't want to kill grandma. I understand. However, I do think that in a lot of respects, people are using this as an excuse. Like, it's very, very useful to people who want to maintain distance, who can't set boundaries and couldn't before in a lot of respects. So a lot of people are, able to really leverage the situation, and they don't realize they're doing it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that really we got to live our lives, and I think that we shouldn't be mandated to do certain things. I think that it really needs to be an individual's choice. Like
you've come around to individual liberties, Joshua. I'm so proud. I'm so proud.
I will also wear a mask just to be polite. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna, I don't want to make somebody uncomfortable. Granted, like, they shouldn't be fearful, blah blah blah. But if it makes you feel better, me wearing a freaking mask, then I'll wear a mask. Like, get off my case.
You also look like a bandit when you wear a mask.
I do look super cool in a mask, especially going into the bank.
You do. You're like Charlie's Angels. Leia says, just sending love. Hello to all the regulars. Thank you, Leia. We love you. Leia, by the way, is a good HR person, not a Robin DiAngelo white fragility HR person. And she has no troubles at her company with people starting nonsense because of that. My God. Joshua, I have a question, and this is something I was thinking about, and I talked about it in an interview I did earlier today. Do you think, I understand why, I don't think there's any right way for people to be spiritual or like practice religion or anything like that, like whatever. But do you think that if people were more connected with source and spirit and all that we would have as much nonsense and hysteria going on right now as we do?
Of course not. Because when you're connected to source, you're stronger and more powerful than billions of people who are not connected to source. Like, think of it like, if you're connected to all that is, you are that big, and you have universal life force energy flowing through you. So you're stronger than just you alone by your lonesome self. And when you're perceiving yourself and you feel yourself as that big, you're not going to make mountains out of molehills. You're not going to have as much fear. You're going to be living in the love vibration, and there's no fear in terms of love. So if we were all more connected to source, we wouldn't have really, I think, any problems really. If we were all totally 100% connected, we certainly, I don't think, would have the hysteria or even COVID for that matter, Because we would have disagreements, right? But there would be more of a respectful, like, that's good. Like, you believe that, that's cool. I don't need to take that, and I don't agree with you, but that's cool. What we're doing instead is we're like, you're wrong. I had somebody the other day say, you're wrong. Like, you can't tell anybody they're wrong. Like, in my head, I'm right. In your head, you're right. That doesn't mean anybody's wrong. So if we were all connected more to source, life would be so much easier.
Well, I also think there would be more of a recognition that, like, we're not all on the same path, right? What you're doing in this lifetime is different than what I'm doing in this lifetime. It's different than what every single person in the chat is doing in this lifetime. And, there are, frankly, reasons why people would want to be on a spiritual level, not on a human level, on a spiritual level, oppressed. There are reasons that people would want to come to have an SJW experience in this human form. It wouldn't be what I would choose, but there are reasons for it, right? And I think if there was more of a recognition that we all don't have to be here to do the same thing, and that's okay. My journey doesn't need to be your journey. We don't need to agree. I think that it would just be a lot better. I think people would be a lot happier.
So much more so, because there's more than one way. Obviously, look around. There's plenty of people. Like, we're all supposed to go the same way. Of course not. But more respect and more love, unconditional. And again, it all starts with ourselves. Like, when you love yourself, you're able to love everybody. If you hate yourself and you're really critical on yourself, that's when you're going to be a bitch to other people, and that's why when you're going to be intolerant. It all is about you. So if you really love all of yourself, it's going to be really difficult for you to have that many problems with other people.
I really wish that more people would love themselves on social media every day.
But what fun would that be, though? Because it is entertaining.
Oh, I hate it all. I hate it. I am like quitting everything. I'm not quitting it. I'm not deleting my accounts or anything, but I'm over it, man. Like people need to get a goddamn purpose is what people need to do. And your purpose should not be like being on Twitter all day or being on Parler all day. And there can be some benefits to that. I know people in the chat do it. I'm sorry, but like I think like life is so much bigger than social media. Get off of Twitter and Parler. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Corliss says, and I think you'll appreciate this, I love the open-hearted joy that Joshua radiates when he's on the show. He's an energy giver. Joshua, you're a giver.
You're the sun.
You're you're a pusher, Joshua. A pusher.
Thank you for that.
And he who shall not be named, who thinks that you have stars coming out of your eyes and other places in the chat. Always look forward to this show. Keep up the good work, guys. Red pilled in 2019. Thank you. He who shall not be named. All right, so guys, no more super chats because we're not going to be able to get to any more questions because I want to round out with Joshua something that you said to me on Sunday and that I actually made a video about yesterday, and a lot of people seem to really like it. So I wanted you to talk about this concept because I think that, going along the lines of like people being happier and, not giving an F what other people think. We were talking about criticism that I receive online on Sunday, and you told me I told you that people always tell me, Carlin, you're so full of yourself. Who do you think you are? And all this nonsense. And what did you say to that? Do you remember?
I probably told you, well, you should be as full of yourself as possible. Like, that's the point.
That's exactly what you said. So I want you to talk about that because that's something that makes people really nervous. Why would it be a good thing for someone to be full of themselves?
Well, when you're full of yourself, you're overflowing, right? And you're planning to give to the world. When you're full of yourself, you're not going out and like saying, like me, like my comments, like my videos, like me. So when people hate on you, you're not wounded, right? Because you're so full of yourself that you don't need anything for other people. And I think that when you're overflowing with that self-love, when you're filled up with yourself, you have so much more to give. And the most important thing is really, let's bring it down to brass tacks. It's all about loving everybody. And if you are full of yourself and you love yourself so much, like I had said before, it's going to be so much easier for you to love everybody. And when you love the world, you're giving value to the world. And when you're giving value to the world is just a beautiful, amazing place. So be full of yourself. What's worse? Like being like insecure? Ridiculous.
Or being empty or depending on other people for validation.
Right. You want to be overflowing. So you have so much to give to the world. And when you're overflowing, think of it in terms of like, just like even in terms of working with people, like, oh, geez, I got to take this call. If you're full of yourself, then you're overflowing. You have so much to give. You have so much love to give. And it just makes everybody's life so much more wonderful.
So it's not necessarily about being like this egomaniacal narcissist to be full of yourself. It's about, loving yourself and what you have to give to the world.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think that it would be about being arrogant. It's about being full. I think arrogant comes with a certain sense of haughtiness. I'm better than you, which is not what being full of yourself, at least from my perspective, is. It's about being so filled up with love for yourself that you're able to give that love to everybody that comes in contact with you. And when you do that, you're making the world a better place. And you can be affecting people much more than you know. So be full of yourself.
Well, I'll say that on the video that I made yesterday, and I wasn't even planning on doing a video about it, but I felt like inspired to do a video about it, honestly. I got so much great feedback, and that advice really helped a lot of people. I think it was something that a lot of people needed to hear. So I love that advice. Be full of yourself, guys. Be full of yourself. It's okay. We give you permission.
Yes.
All right, folks, that's all we've got for tonight. Now, if you've enjoyed what we've done, please give this a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Joshua and I do this every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time. If you want to connect with Joshua to get a psychic reading or coaching like what we do together, his information is in the description below. It's psychicsun.com. S-U-N like the sun, not S-O-N. Joshua, do you have any final words of wisdom for us this week?
Have fun and don't bite.
Don't bite.
Don't bite. Because we had that opposition for the new moon. So it's all like these next 2 weeks is all about like balancing like, oh shoot, my job really has me working overtime, but I also need to take care of my wife. So like there's like this a balancing of priorities. So just do your best to balance and don't go to extremes. If something is calling your name and you're like, oh shoot, I got to do this, do it. It's not going away. We're dealing with Saturn in this new moon cycle. So balance.
There you go. And Ninja Kitty says, oh, that wasn't what I wanted. Ninja Kitty, sorry, Horoscopian. Ninja Kitty says, I welcome all to Unsafe Space, 11 a.m. on Monday and Friday, and drop in and say hello to the kitty in the chat. And I'm gonna do one better, Ninja Kitty. Carrie Smith, who is one of the most popular interviews that I've had on this channel so far, who is the co-host of Unsafe Space, will be back on this channel live on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for another chat. We're going to talk about white fragility, and we're doing a special fundraiser for Carrie and Carter to come to the Better Discourse Conference with me and Mikey, and all the super chats that come in during this live interview with Carrie will be donated to the Unsafe Space fundraiser to get them travel to Milwaukee next month. So I hope to see you all there on Thursday. It's going to be an awesome talk. Carrie is amazing if you haven't met her yet, and check out Unsafe Space as well. All right. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.